The UK tour for the European Late Model Series continues. First it was the Garden County of Kent at the Lydden Hill racetrack, then into Suffolk and the Vauxhall Heath Raceway at Ipswich, and now we're in the heart of Staffordshire. We're on the Cannock Chase at a raceway called Hennesford Hills. Now this place, it really is a natural amphitheatre. It was developed originally as a reservoir. However, there was a fundamental problem. The reservoir leaked. So I think first race took place here back in the 50s, and since then it really has emerged as one of the UK's fastest small oval raceways, which the European Late Model Series are truly gonna love.
So prior to Hennesford, as I mentioned, the late models had raced spectacularly under the lights at Vauxhall Stadium in Ipswich with plenty of thrills and spills. Championship contender Jean Vasseur had a huge shunt here with Winston Graham. Pleasingly, both drivers okay as we see Winston getting out of his car. That was in the final, and that final race was eventually checkered flag awarded to Gary Ellis as we see him take the win here. He had also taken a heat win, as had Kelvin Hassel driving Tony Root's machine. Also starring at Ipswich and here at Hennesford, Shane Brereton.
Your Ascot, very, very quick, seemingly out of the box, Shane.
Yeah, I set it up like my hot rod. Just done it to go the other way round, and it seems to have worked. I'm very pleased.
Okay, gentlemen, we are ready for 2 warming up laps. Take care here at the start. There's water, but it's treated.
So race director Roland van der Meers indicating there might be a problem.
Okay, we are ready to go to green, gentlemen.
So away we go then with Heat 1 for the European Late Model Series here at the Hennesford Hills Raceway. You can see the track there where it has been treated for water and other substances.
Yellow, turn one.
Already a yellow flag as Wim Moonen has gone round and Xavier van der Meers. So as you can see, we have a red flag. That means this Heat 1 is being abandoned, and that brought about by the track conditions. As we see Chris Roots return to the paddock, you can see exactly what we mean. So then, to Heat 2 we go, and Tractor Boy in car number 98 alongside Paul Bowman in 39 lead the way. We're on board with Colin White, another one of those former Ascars. This is car number 78 as we go racing. This is Heat 2, Hennesford Hills Raceway in Staffordshire. The European Late Models' first visit to this track. And hopefully Heat 2 is going to be a sight better than the abandoned Heat 1. All those cars go through, as does Shane Brereton. We can see there car number 48 adorned as a tribute to the 3 times NASCAR Sprint Cup champion Jimmy Johnson. But back to the front we go, and it is Tractor Boy that leads the way, the Suffolk youngster in car number 98. Championship contender right at the back, Gary Ellis, and another contender that we're on board with now, looking backwards, Jean Vasseur, as Shane Brereton gets on terms with him, but it is Tractor that leads the way. Colin White making good progress around the outside. We see Shane Brereton trying to go around the outside of Jean Vasseur. In the meantime, everyone comes through. Xavier van der Meers having a tough time of it on the inside line. Jean Vasseur going around the back of him. That's right at the back of the grid. And just as we see that, Xavier van der Meers retires. Back on board we are with Colin White now, who's in 4th place, trying to make it 3rd. Paul Bowman in the ASBF car right in front of us gets a little bit wobbly, exiting that turn 2. But it's Tractor Boy from Keith Wally, from Paul Bowman, and Colin White desperately trying to turn 4th place into 3rd at the moment. Look at this. Colin will dive up the inside now. No, he won't. What am I talking about? He's tracking every step of the way. Paul Bowman and staying outside high, trying to get alongside him. Some real panel rubbing racing. If only he got the opportunity to get alongside him. Colin seemingly can't quite get the traction, or does he do it this time as Tractor goes round in 98? That'll bring out the yellows for sure. So Tractor Boy, who was leading, just got a little bit too eager, donuts his way back round again, and he'll go right to the back of the field. What a shame for him, but that of course will elevate Keith Wally in the red, car number 88, to assume the lead as once again the green goes down, and he does, and Colin White now in car 78 is in 2nd place. But watch this, the Flying Dutchman Wim Moonen in the all-yellow 73 car. Wim Moonen, former Lightning Rod champion. He knows how to drive a car, and he knows how to get around an oval like this here at Hednesford Hills. As we look back at Chris Roots driving Tony's car, Keith Wally leads, Wim Moonen is second, Colin White is really on the outside of Wim Moonen, and then the budget racer in car number 13, Kelvin Hassel, is coming through, as too is Shane Brereton in car number 48. So flapping bonnet there we can see from Gary Ellis, but this is the guy that's leading the way. Keith Wally in car number 88 with the Flying Dutchman right behind him, then Kelvin Hassel, and there is Gary Ellis. Oh, and he gets a little bit sideways out of turn 4, but 88 is leading the way. Under pressure now from Wim Moonen, and Kelvin Hassel takes a dive up the outside. Colin White has been left behind. So at the moment then, Colin White we're on board with, and we can see the battle up front as the Flying Dutchman gets passed by Kelvin Hassel in car number 13. So Wim Moonen then is down into third place. Colin is currently fourth. Kelvin Hassel is second. Keith Wally is leading. Paul Bowman we can see behind us as Jean Vasseur has gone past him. Paul Bowman effectively a backmarking car now. 88 Keith Wally then. Alongside him, Kelvin Hassel in car number 13, and Kelvin doing everything he can to get past the 88 car, and he does it. Kelvin Hassel goes into the lead in car number 13. The black car with the orange roof. Goodness only knows why, but he likes the colour orange. So Kelvin Hassel then. Keith Wally second. Then is the Flying Dutchman Wim Moonen in third. Under tremendous pressure now from Shane Brereton. And there we can see that battle as Chris Roots driving Tony's car number 77 gets up the inside of Colin White. And Tony now up into 5th place. Colin is currently 6th. 4th now is Keith Wally in 88. 3rd is Shane Brereton. 2nd, oh, and Shane Brereton very nearly loses it. Awesome power of these V8 European late models. Wow, it's a challenge controlling all that power in a tight quarter mile oval, but that's exactly what they're doing, and they're doing it to a great accomplishment here at Hednesford Hills. Huge crowd enjoying this European late models first visit here to Hednesford Hills, as Chris Roots trying to get past Keith Wally. He really is on the outside of him, doing everything he can. It's nip and tuck, there's nothing between them. And now Colin White joins the fray as well, as he normally just gets his nose in front now, Chris Roots, and he does it. But that is our race leader, Kelvin Hassel, who's off into the distance. I'm almost inclined to say having a privileged drive up the front there. Wim Moonen second, then it's Shane Brereton in third place. Gary Ellis has lost that flapping bonnet we mentioned earlier in the race. That's away in the distance somewhere. However, it won't hamper his progress. In fact, it might even provide a little bit of extra cooling for the engine. So Gary Ellis there in 95, alongside him Xavier van der Meers. Those two, of course, having a real battle along with this guy, 07 Jean Vasseur, who's in there as well. They're battling right at the top of the championship table, and a good showing here at Hednesford Hills is crucial to maintaining their positions in the championship. So Gary Ellis and Xavier having a real battle there, and Jean Vasseur about to join in as well. Here the backmarking 39 car, and Kelvin Hassel has got to get past that, and Wim Moonen is in there for second place, with Shane Brereton up to third, and Chris Roots now beginning to try and make that place his, but it's Kelvin Hassel that leads. Kelvin along the outside of Paul Bowman in car number 39. Kelvin Hassel, Wim Moonen, then it's Shane Brereton, then it's car number 77, Chris Roots. So with the closing stages of this race that we're into right now, surely Kelvin has done enough to make it his. As Colin White goes round right in the final stages of this race, Colin White gives it a footful too much as the young lady gives us the checkered flag officially. We're going to declare that race and declare that a win for driver number 13, Kelvin Hassel. Well done to him.
Kelvin Hassel, then, at last you're out there on track, because it's been a bit of a frustrating day here at Hednesford. For one reason or another, Heat 2 effectively became your first heat.
Yes, it did. I'm not sure what happened in Heat 1. We had issues with the track not being clean, lots of cars sliding off, and I think half of it they should have cleaned the track, and half of it some of us drivers should have stayed on when we didn't. And but it's good. We got out for the second race and won it. So,
yeah, and a fantastic result for you. Now, again, as I've seen so often with your racecraft, you your racecraft sort of belies your young years, really. You do drive with your head and you see the opportunity and know when to go for it.
Oh, I try to. It's very nice of you to say so.
Get your haircut, Kelvin. Okay, taking the win then, he does. Kelvin Hassel, second place Shane Brereton, who nicked it away from Wim Moonen, who ended up third. Chris Roots was fourth, Keith Wally fifth, and Xavier van der Meers sixth. And we go into the final after this break.
Welcome back to the race action with the European Late Model Series here at Hednesford Hills.
Yes, this the race final. P1 still to come. I know it's confusing. Stick with us. It will all become clear. So a warm-up lap to be done for these cars then as their feature final gets underway. P1 was abandoned due to track conditions, and that's why it's going to be run right at the end of the race day, providing there is sufficient time. So we're into the final already with Paul Bowman and Tractor Boy leading them away. We're back on board with Jean Vasseur as we get a green flag and away we go racing for the feature final for these European Late Model Series. Lee Maddox, the Tractor Boy, on the outside of Paul Bowman in car number 39. So it's a little bit of a head start for these former ASCAR cars to get away from the vying pack as they come thundering through around this Hednesford Hills Raceway. Colin White there in car number 78 on the outside of Winston Graham. And there right at the back, big battle going on between Gary Ellis and heat winner Kelvin Hassel. So 77 is not Tony Roots in that green machine, it is his son Chris Roots who's taken to the track today. So Jean Vasseur then, I thought he was going to get a huge shunt there from Shane Brereton, who managed to chuck it sideways, as does Wim Moonen as well. Wow, poetry in motion damn near as these European late models go round. Let's see it again then. Shane got in so very, very close, and then the tail end just slipped out and he couldn't control it with opposite lock. Wim Moonen then takes evasive action and spins it around as well to avoid a collision. Great driving from those guys. So Wim Moonen back out on track then, along with Shane Brereton in that super looking car. Colin White will go on board with Colin White up to third place of the restart. Paul Bowman's going to lead them away. Then it's Tractor Boy, and we get a green flag. Tractor tries to get a run on Paul, but he doesn't manage to do it, so he'll slot on the inside, presumably. Paul Bowman leads in 39. Then it's Lee Maddox, Tractor Boy, then Colin White and the rest of them coming through. We go on board with Colin White, who knows the tractor sign on the back of Lee's car. So Colin dives up the inside. No, not quite. Wasn't close enough to make it count. So Lee Maddox is still on the inside line. Colin White takes a look up the outside. Oh, and what a brilliant outbreak manoeuvre into turns 3 and 4. Goes Colin White. Desperate to have some success here at Hednesford Hills today. Keith Wally in 88 coming through as well, as to one of the top championship drivers at the moment, Xavier van der Meers in car number 19. We're on board with Colin White, who's trying to make the outside line work for him so that he can go into the lead. Paul Bowman keeping it nice and tight inside. Colin White doing everything he can, using all his years of racing experience. But all those years of racing experience doesn't necessarily give him the grip he needs. And that's what he so desperately craves around this Hednesford Hills outside line. So we're almost willing him, we're with him, we're in the car trying to help him, but all of that counts as naught, or does it, as he has another attempt on the outside of Paul Bowman. Colin White desperately trying to get alongside. There we see Gary Ellis and Jean Vasseur, back with Jean Vasseur now, who's got Winston Graham right behind him. And just a little bit of a wobble there from Paul Bowman. Is that enough for Colin White? Paul goes wide, Colin takes evasive action but sticks in there, stays with that outside line. Surely he's done enough now just to get his nose in front. Yes, Colin White leads in car number 78. Wim Moonen has gone round but he's in safety. So Colin White at last, the former National Hot Rod World Champion, leads this race in car number 78, but my goodness me, he's got Xavier van der Meers on his tail now. There's Jean Vasseur in 07, Gary Ellis trying to go through as well. So it's 78 versus 19 for the 1 and 2 places, P1 and P2. Chris Roots going really well in car number 77, but this is the lead car, this is the leader we're on board with. Wim Moonen's managed to get his car back out on track, and he's racing. So Colin White leads then in car number 78, the Glastonbury driver. But to his outside is Xavier van der Meers, the Belgian driver, and Xavier just powers down there and gets his car in front. Superb overtaking manoeuvre from Xavier van der Meers, absolutely textbook that one. So Xavier Vandermeersch in car number 19 leads, and Colin White now is relegated to second place in the CWS 78 car. So a little puff of smoke from Xavier Vandermeersch's machine. That won't worry him, that won't trouble him. Seems to be going okay right out there in front. Huge crowd here at Hednesford. Colin White once again goes round. Just gives it a little bit too much. Absolute brilliant donut though to get it back on the racing line. Wow, it's as if nothing ever happened. It's just lost 3 or 4 places, which won't be to his liking, but there we are. So Colin White back out on track once again in that CWS machine. 78, those really smart liveried cars. So the rest of them follow through then. This is of course the feature final, and Xavier Vandermeersch is leading. And he's got the back marking 88 Keith Wally car in front of him now. There's Chris Roots in car number 77. Gary Ellis doing well too. And Chris Roots and Gary Ellis second, third, fourth places being played out here on track right now. Chris Roots really has taken to the awesome power of these European late models like the Duck to Water. Oh! And bad news for Winston Graham and Shane Brereton then. Collision there right in the closing stages of this race, within 1 or 2 laps left to run. Xavier Vandermeersch is slowed right down for the yellows, but there we can see Winston Graham's car, and there is Shane Brereton. Race is declared, and onto the truck then, and to the applause of the crowd here at Hednesford Hills is Xavier Vandermeersch. Xavier gets his way around the raceway then, and huge appreciative crowd here. And good to see. So, how did it finish? Xavier took the win then. Chris Roots was second. In third place was Gary Ellis. Kelvin Hassel was fourth. Colin White fifth. Paul Bowman sixth. And let's catch up right now with Chris Roots driving that number 77.
Yeah, certainly a different experience. The stock cars are a lot easier to drive, a lot smaller, a lot easier to control. These things have got so much power, so much grip. But when they lose the grip, they lose everything straight away.
Forgive me for saying this, Keith, but do you think that you'd be showing more at the front if you were able to devote a little bit more time to your racing?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, I came into this, as you know, we spoke before, we came into this purely as a bit of fun for me. 6-7 meetings a year, that's going to be my max. I'm really tied in with these little legends here today, and that's where it's got to be. That's where my business is. That's what pays for me to go racing when I can with these guys. Yeah, I'd love to do more meetings, but I'm happy with what we're doing. Just wait and see what happens next year. I hope Tony's got a few surprises for us, and I hope you guys can still be involved and keep the fans coming on, because we are proving very popular.
So with our checkered flag livery dog, almost as excited as we are, I'm sure, we're going to go racing with Heat 1. It's terribly confusing. So Heat 1 we go then. And it is Tractor Boy and Paul Bowman on the outside. Tractor Boy on this occasion has got the inside. Keith Wally, who we've just spoken to, is up into second place. Paul Bowman down there into third. So Tractor Boy had an earlier spin in one of the heats when he was leading. Is he going to hold it all together this time? Tractor Boy's family here in full effect, enjoying every moment here at Hednesford Hills. So Tractor Boy it is on the inside. Keith Wally though driving like a Trojan around the outside in that Race Car Direct all red liveried car of his. Colin White once again trying to get on terms. There's Sean Vasseur, Kelvin Hassel, previous winner, Chris Roots as well. This is Heat 1 then, a rerun of Heat 1 which was abandoned right at the start of the programme as we go on board with Colin White. Colin now seeming to have those grip issues sorted out. So Colin currently is in fourth place on track, doing well in the CWS 78 car. So it is Tractor Boy Lee Maddox in 98 that leads. Look at this pack of cars come thundering through, including the misshapen car of Gary Ellis in car number 95, the yellow-red one just in shot there. Kelvin Hassel in there with the orange roof, the black car number 13 in 5th and 6th place with Jean Vasseur at the moment. And then the rest of them, look at this. Huge pack of cars trying to battle their way through here at the Hednesford Hills Raceway. Keith Wally is then in car number 88. Then we see Lee Maddox and Colin White. So once again, Keith Wally has his nose in front in the all-red machine as Colin White continues to battle around the outside of Tractor Boy in 98. Then it's to the 2007 champion, Sean Vasseur in 07. He's also on that outside line, and now he'll try and get alongside Colin White to get through into second place. Colin is second at the moment, Jean Vasseur third, then it's Tractor Boy 98 who is currently fourth in this, the rerun of He1 from earlier in the day. So Colin White in 78 and 07, Jean Vasseur battling there, and that's the battle for second place, which Jean Vasseur has very nearly got, or has he? So absolutely precision driving from these two as they battle lap after lap after lap alongside each other. And just a little bit of a whale tail then from Colin White is enough to send 07 Jean Vasseur through, or is it? Colin fights back. But no, Jean Vasseur has got his nose in to second place now. Shane Brereton trying to follow the same move around the outside in car number 48. Shane Brereton then alongside Colin White, both of those drivers, West Country drivers who used to have enormous battles in their career of national hot rod racing, these two. Colin White and Shane Brereton. Then, and look at this, they both get very sideways, and that meant Colin White had to dive for cover on the infield. Shane Brereton managed to recover slightly better. Kelvin Hassel took advantage of that situation and went through and retains that inside line. Keith Wally is the lead, but look at this. Jean Vasseur has really reeled him in now in car number 07. So Jean Vasseur, the 2007 champion, will be delighted to take this He1 win. Remember, this is a rerun of He1, which was abandoned earlier in the day due to track conditions. So we're not watching the final, we're actually watching the rerun of He1, and the battle for that is between Keith Wally in car number 88, Jean Vasseur in car number 07, with Kelvin Hassel in there in third place for good measure as well. Jean Vasseur really liking the outside line of this Hendersford Hills Raceway. Already he's made up several places on that outside line, and now with a lock up of the brakes into turn one, he takes the lead, or does he? Keith Wally fights back, and Kelvin Hassel is in the mix as well, as too is Shane Brereton. This is phenomenal stuff from the leading pack in this European Late Model Series He1 at Hendersford Hills Raceway. Jean Vasseur then, the fastest frog, it is the lead in 07. Then it's Keith Wally in second place, coming under tremendous pressure from Kelvin Hassel in car number 13. Then it's Shane Brereton in car number 48. And all these drivers, immense respect for each other, very clean racing. So, not necessarily tell that from the side of Kelvin Hassel's car, which has got one or two panels missing. But they do race tight and close, and Kelvin Hassel there finally manages to get through. 39 once again is a back marking car, and now the chase is on for Kelvin Hassel to reel in Jean Vasseur then. And the way that Kelvin has been driving today, anything is possible. Shane Brereton too tries to get past Keith Wally. So 07, the fastest frog then, Jean Vasseur, it is the lead. Kelvin Hassel right in the closing stages of this race, trying to reel him in. Surely Jean Vasseur has done enough to take the win. 07, Jean Vasseur, 13, Kelvin Hassel. European Late Model Series racing here at Hendersford Hills. Checkered flag done and dusted. Jean Vasseur our winner. Kelvin Hassel very nearly got close, and well done to Kelvin. He's driven out of his socks here at Hendersford Hills. So it is the fastest frog that takes the win of the rerun He1. So Jean Vasseur it is that takes the win. Kelvin Hassel second place, Shane Brereton in third, Chris Roots fourth, Keith Wally fifth place, and Xavier van der Meersch takes sixth place in the rerun of He1. So there is Jean Vasseur on his lap of honour, trophy and checkered flag aloft.
Okay, gentlemen, nice racing. See you, most of you, next week at Warneton for the biggest meeting of the year.
So the leaderboard and the championship standings, Gary Ellis leads then, just 2 points in it between him and Xavier van der Meersch. In third place is Jean Vasseur. Wim Moonen is fourth, Kelvin Hassel fifth, and Bertrand Zor is in sixth place. From me, Dave Richardson, we'll be back from Warneton on Motors TV very soon.